So my next guest is Dr. Janet McMordie. She is a sports medicine physician that decided in the middle of the pandemic that she was going to make that leap into film, improv. And so she's launched Second Act Actor Productions. And this helps to amplify the stories of women and non-binary creators. Now she's got a new dramedy out called First Cut, based on her life experiences. Dr. Janet McMordie, how are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
Thanks so much. So, you spent a long time building a career in sports medicine. What made you decide to just segue from doctor to entertainment? How did you do that and why?
I should preface, I still do practice sports medicine. I actually really love my career. But, during the pandemic, I think for a lot of people, first responders, healthcare workers especially, we did a big kind of relook at our lives and realizing, kind of what was missing. And during the pandemic, it was really tough as a healthcare worker, and we were all really struggling. And I started doing some online improv classes, if you would believe is a thing. And it made me realize I was missing a big part of my life as I'd kind of tunnel vision focus my career, my life in medicine. I was missing that creative piece. And I just brought that more into my life, and it's just grown and grown and grown from there. And not only has, it really improved my career as a doctor, I've also noticed the flip, like my medical career has really helped my career in the entertainment industry as well. So
I could see that, because I think we're all different. We are not like one vertical, as a human species, and we all think differently. And I think that, yes, you can have your toe in one thing, but you can also do something else. I mean, I'm a real estate agent, but I'm also here doing this Saturday, Sunday mornings. I've also done those improv classes, by the way. I did them pre-COVID live at Second City, and I got to tell you, those improv classes are really good. And, I would highly recommend for people. Just helps you kind of get out of your comfort zone. And I think that whatever career you're in, you end up in this one stream, this one comfort zone. And sometimes it's just nice to step out and branch out. It just makes your brain work differently,
Absolutely. And I think I love what you said there about the vertical, because I think so often we think our lives, are this ladder that we have to keep climbing up. And especially in careers like medicine, where there literally is a ladder that you have to climb up to get to the end of your career. But once you get to the top, you're like, oh my gosh, where do I go from here? Where's the next ladder I need to climb? And it doesn't really exist.
Right.
So I love what you said, trying to explore other avenues, other, parts of our lives, I think is so important to help with burnout, especially.
And I think also, too, in an environment where a lot of us are losing our jobs all the time. I mean, I shouldn't say all the time, but, layoffs, I mean, obviously you're in the medical profession, nobody's laying you off. But for other people that work for corporations, getting laid off is a regular thing that happens that everybody needs to think about. So I do think it's a good idea for people to kind of think about what's that other thing that they like doing? Can they do that as a side hustle while they're doing their job? Because they just don't know when they're going to lose their one job where they're going to need to segue into something else. So I do think it's a good thing for people to think about for that. Any advice you would recommend to people who are contemplating or on the fence about a second act that they have in mind?
Absolutely. And I think this is a bit cliche because I hear it from a lot of people who've done very similar things to me, is to just do it. I know, sorry, Nike, but it really is the best advice I can give, because I think for so many people, especially if they've had a career, to try something new. I mean, if you don't like it, just don't do it anymore, right? Just
Right.
as simple as that, why not just try it? Yeah, it can be a little scary, but try it. If you're like, oh, that's not my thing, that's okay too. I think for so many of us, I know my brain goes this way. If I want to try something new, I need to be good at it right away. And if I'm not an expert immediately, I'm like, no, that's not the right thing for me. But that's okay too. Just try it. And if it's not your thing, it's okay. And I think what's wonderful about the pandemic, and I know that's a crazy thing to say that the pandemic may have had some good things.
Yeah, I get it.
The ability to do everything online. For people who are not in a major center, if they're interested in doing improv and they're not in the city, you can do things like this online. You can explore, meet new people, and figure out what you love, but within the online space. And that's actually extremely, extremely, powerful and helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, one of the things that you said there about, trying something, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. I mean, it's that whole idea that it's okay to fail. And I remember, I don't know if you know who Sarah Blakely is. She's the billionaire who created Spanx.
Yes.
And, I read her book, and essentially every time she was at dinner, her father would say to her when she was growing up, "What did you fail at today?" Because it wasn't about being successful. It was about what did you try that brought you out of your comfort zone that you weren't comfortable with before? What did you fail at today? Because the more you were failing, you were doing something. You were just kind of getting out of your comfort zone. So it is important to fail because then at least you know what doesn't work for you. So you can move on and find that thing that does work for you, right?
Absolutely. And I think one of the big things that I loved about my career as I'm going to say scientist is that to be a good scientist and honestly a good human in this world is to keep being curious.
Yes.
Not only about yourself, but about the people around you and the world around you. And I can't remember who said it, but it was as soon as you stop being curious, that's when you are now old. And I think that's what is really fun about exploring what we love outside of our kind of tunnel vision focus of our careers is staying curious about what do I like as a person? Who do I like to be around? What activities do I want to do? And again, like you said, if you don't like it the first time around, that's also learning. That's also an interesting piece to learn about yourself. And just keeping on being curious is so important.
Yeah, it really is. I used to sell advertising sales for the W Network quite a few years ago. And, one of the side hustles that I tried at the time is I love fitness and I'm always about into staying in shape. So I started doing sort of fitness weekend getaways with my cousin and a friend who's a naturopath. And, it was a lot of work. And, the first one was okay. And then the second one didn't work out so well. And I thought, this isn't going to work. I got to move on and think of something else to do next. But it is really important to try different things to figure out where else can you go? Whatever your interests are, And I think we need to all look at each other as like whole people, that we all have different interests. We're not all in that one stream. So any quick advice for anybody? We've got about 30 seconds left that you would give to someone who's really struggling with what to do next in terms of trying to figure out that thing that they should try and fail at.
Yeah, I think for me, what was really helpful is actually writing things down, just scribbling out thoughts in my head. And it's incredible what can come out of it because there's, pro-con list, contemplating something. I mean, if you're making a pro-con list about should I change careers or should I do an improv class, chances are you probably should be doing it. But for me, tactily writing it down and seeing it on a page really makes my brain go, okay, maybe you should, again, I'm repeating myself, maybe you should just do it.
Right. Yes. Leave it to Nike to come up with that slogan, just do it. And clearly that slogan means so much to so many of us. Just do it. Dr.
Absolutely.
Janet McMordie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been very enlightening.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks so much. So yes, if you're looking for your second act, just do it. Take that leap. It can be done.